how will Sanjay Kumar, the voters of Bihar, decode the attacks of Chirag Paswan against Nitish Kumar, the public statements of the BJP leadership that Chirag Paswan is not part of any plan B of the BJP, but the fact is ki man, people don't seem to be believing that. Now, how do you deal with this? And in the political firmament of Bihar, which is about as political a state as any in the country, how do you think this will actually play out when polling starts in about 48 hours from now?
See, one fact is very clear. In my opinion, people of Bihar don't like the vote katwas. And when I say vote katwa, these are the people who are not in a position to win elections on their own, but they are in a position to get a party defeated. So I think, in my opinion, Chirag Paswan is seen as a vote katwa in this election, and people would not like to waste their vote voting for a party which is likely to emerge as a vote katwa party. People would still remember the 2005 February election, which is the best election of LJP, when they won 29 seats and they polled roughly about 14% vote. And in that election, when there was no alliance got the majority and there was a need for LJP to extend a support to either of the allies to form a government, but LJP didn't do that. And the state went to poll again in October 2005. And look at what happened. In that election, LJP's seats got reduced from 29 to 10, and their vote also went down by 1 or 2%. I think that's the best election of LJP. So in this election, when the two alliances are formed up and there is another third alliance and he is not part of any alliance, he is seen as a non-serious player, whatever noise he may be making. This is my personal opinion. This is my opinion based on the data which we have collected. So I don't think whatever he's charging Nitish Kumar of being involved in corruption, but I don't think people are going to believe him.
Now here is the thing, and this is the question, Rohan Gupta, for the Mahagathbandhan, that regardless of the crowds that come to Tejaswi's rallies, regardless of the anti-incumbency against Nitish Kumar, in the end, as is often the case in Bihar, voters tend to cast them vote on the basis of caste. Jati sab par bhari, especially in a state like Bihar, and therefore, even though there is enthusiasm at Tejaswi's rallies, the reality is the BJP JDU caste coalition is far more socially cohesive and formidable in comparison with the Muslim Yadav combine that the RJD brings to the table, with very little additional votes coming in thanks to your party, the Congress.
Rahul, I think you have raised very interesting point. I see the change this time. I have been in Patna for last so many days. Now, if you see the way Mr. Tejaswi Yadav is getting response, or Congress candidates, the issues we are raising is employment. That unemployment is the biggest issue. Wherever the rallies are, you just see when Tejaswi speaks on unemployment, there is a maximum support from people. So I think Bihar is changing fast. This time they are going to vote on issues. Whatever you say, Muslim Yadav, I don't think so. Now why is converted into youth and Muslim is converted into Mahila. So I think Bihar is changing very fast, and you will see when the results come, the youth there is really desperate. They don't have jobs. Anybody you go and ask, the first thing is jobs. And let me tell you, Bihar is a place where, youth go for government exams and government jobs. There, more than 4.5 lakh jobs, government jobs, are not given by Mr. Nitish Kumar.
Now,
so
that's the problem for the BJP and the Gathbandhan and the JDU, the fact that jobs has become a rallying cry in this election. First, Tejaswi Yadav came up with the promise of 10 lakh jobs. The BJP initially dismissed it, then came up with its own counter, promising 19 lakh jobs. The issue of jobs is resonating more than any other issue in this election, suggesting possibly that some voters, especially the young, may look at jobs first rather than caste.
I would say, Rahul, that this time, Vikas sab par bhari. As far as Prime Minister Modi is concerned, as far as Nitish Kumar ji is concerned, we are talking of developmental politics. And if you see the report card of Honorable Prime Minister for the entire country, more so in case of Bihar, and if you see Nitish Kumar ji's report card, I think this is the reason why all the pre-poll surveys are indicating good victory for this coalition, JDU and BJP. So I don't think there's any kind of impact that Tejasvi Yadav's rhetorics would have on the people of Bihar. People of Bihar want development. Tejasvi Yadav is full of sound and fury signifying nothing. And what will Congress say? Congress doesn't even have a face to project. Congress is actually firing from the shoulders of Tejasvi Yadav. They didn't find anybody else. It's a national party. It was such an important party. It has lost its relevance. There is nobody there. What is Bihar, the Congress spokesperson saying?